So, you've decided to become an 18th century doctor. Congratulations. You've chosen one of the most prestigious ways to accidentally kill people while trying to help them. Let's walk through your exciting new career path, shall we? First things first, let's talk about your education. Unlike those fancy modern doctors with their medical schools and actual knowledge of human anatomy, you have two primary paths to choose from. Option 1. Apprenticeship. Spend 7 years following around another doctor who also has no idea what he's doing. It's like the blind leading the blind, but with more bloodletting. You'll learn such valuable skills as looking thoughtfully at urine and nodding sagely while having absolutely no clue what's wrong with your patient. Option 2. University. Spend your family's entire fortune to attend lectures where old men read directly from medical texts written 2,000 years ago by Galen, who, fun fact, never actually dissected a human body. But hey, at least you'll learn Latin. Nothing says I'm a professional like being able to incorrectly diagnose someone in a dead language.
And as Galen clearly states, the body is ruled by 4 humours: blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile.
But sir, what if...
Silence. Are you questioning the wisdom of a man who died 1,600 years ago? Next, you'll be suggesting that washing our hands might prevent disease.
Now that you're officially a doctor, congratulations on memorizing all those incorrect theories. It's time to set up your practice. First, you'll need your essential tools. 1. Leeches. Lots and lots of leeches. These are your new best friends. Got a headache? Leeches. Broken leg? Leeches. Bad marriage? Believe it or not, leeches. You'll want to keep them in a nice jar on your desk to show everyone how professional you are. Nothing says, trust me with your life, like a container full of blood-sucking worms. 2. A fancy cane. This is absolutely crucial. How else will people know you're a doctor if you don't have an overpriced stick to point at things with? Bonus points if it has a hidden compartment for smuggling brandy. You're going to need it. 3. A collection of terrifying tools that look like they belong in a torture chamber. Remember, the scarier they look, the more you can charge. That's just basic economics. This here is a trepanation drill. It's for drilling holes in people's skulls to let the evil spirits out. What's that? There are no evil spirits. Tell that to Mrs. Johnson's husband who swears she's possessed, though that might just be the mercury treatments we've been giving her. Speaking of treatments, let's discuss your exciting new medical arsenal. As an 18th century doctor, you have access to some of the most sophisticated medical treatments that complete guesswork can provide. Bloodletting, your go-to treatment for literally everything. Patient too hot? Take blood. Patient too cold? Take blood. Patient perfectly healthy but came in for a routine checkup? Better take some blood just to be safe. The human body has way too much blood anyway, right? That's probably why they get sick in the first place.
Doctor, I have a mild cough.
Say no more. We'll just drain 2 or 3 pints of blood, and you'll be right as rain. Or dead. But either way, you won't be coughing anymore.
Mercury, nature's miracle cure. Sure, it's literally poison, but look how shiny it is. Perfect for treating everything from depression to syphilis. Side effects may include madness, tooth loss, death, and more death. But hey, at least your patients will die with really clean intestines. Tobacco smoke enemas. Yes, you read that correctly. Nothing says I take my medical practice seriously, like blowing tobacco smoke up someone's... Well, you know, it's particularly recommended for drowning victims, because apparently what someone who's just been pulled from a river really needs is a nicotine rush to their bum.
Quick, this man's drowning.
Don't worry, I've got my tobacco enema pipe right here.
Thank goodness you're always prepared.
Shouldn't we maybe get him out of the water first?
Silence, peasant.
Now, let's talk about your daily routine. You'll start your day by putting on your most professional outfit. This consists of a long black coat that's definitely seen better days, but you can't wash it because the dried blood and pus stains give you credibility. A fancy wig that's probably home to several families of lice. And if there's a plague in town, your piece de resistance. The beak mask. Nothing inspires confidence in your patients like looking like a giant crow stuffed with aromatic herbs. Plus, it's a great way to avoid having to smell your own treatments.
Ah yes, my beak mask, filled with lovely aromatics like lavender, straw, and whatever I found in the garden this morning. Because as we all know, disease is caused by bad smells. This is just science, people.
Your typical day might go something like this. Morning. Visit wealthy patients in their homes. Prescribe mercury for their gout, charge them an obscene amount of money, and pretend not to notice that your last mercury treatment is what gave them the shakes they're complaining about now.
Doctor, I'm experiencing terrible tremors and my teeth are falling out.
Clearly you need more mercury, that'll be £50.
But these symptoms started after your last mercury treatment.
Interesting theory. Let's test it with more mercury.
Afternoon. Attend to the poor in your clinic, which is really just your basement with some questionable stains on the walls. Prescribe leeches for everything because they're cheaper than mercury, and you've got to maintain your profit margins. Evening. Retire to your study to write serious medical papers about how disease is caused by night air, women's wandering wombs, and an excess of spleen. Make sure to use lots of Latin to sound extra smart.
Dear Medical Society of London, I have made a breakthrough discovery. After extensive research, I can conclude with certainty that my patient's hysteria was caused by her womb wandering into her throat, obviously due to reading too many novels. I treated her successfully with a combination of leeches, mercury, and telling her to stop having opinions. Yours truly, Dr. Bloodletter, M.D., Master of Draining.
But it's not all glamorous bloodletting and tobacco enemas. You'll face some serious challenges in your career, including competition from other medical practitioners. Barber surgeons who think they're real doctors just because they know how to amputate limbs without killing the patient, most of the time. Wise women who have the audacity to successfully treat patients with actual medicinal herbs instead of mercury. Quacks selling miracle cures that are probably just water and opium, which, technically, might be safer than your treatments.
Step right up. Buy Dr. Miracle's magical cure-all tonic. Guaranteed to cure what ails you or kill you trying.
How dare they sell such obvious nonsense? Now, where were we? Ah yes, let's drill another hole in your head.
The hardest part of your job will be maintaining your professional reputation while having absolutely no idea what you're doing. But don't worry, here are some tried and true techniques. 1. When in doubt, blame the humours. 2. If that doesn't work, blame the patient's moral character. 3. If they're still alive to complain, suggest more bloodletting. 4. If all else fails, write the prescription in such terrible handwriting that no one can read it anyway.
Doctor, what does this prescription say?
Exactly what you need to cure your ailment.
But it just looks like angry squiggles.
That's medical Latin, my good lady. Very advanced stuff. Now about my fee.
And let's not forget about your responsibility to advance medical science. This mainly involves publishing papers about your successful treatments, conveniently leaving out all the patients who died, arguing with other doctors about whose theory of humours is more correct, occasionally dissecting a corpse, preferably one that hasn't been dead too long, but beggars can't be choosers.
And here we see clear evidence that this man died from an excess of black bile.
Sir, that's just regular bile. It's black because he's been dead for 2 weeks.
Nonsense! This proves my theory perfectly. Someone write this down.
But perhaps the most challenging aspect of being an 18th century doctor is dealing with the emerging radical ideas that threaten our noble profession. Some lunatics suggesting that diseases might be caused by tiny, invisible creatures rather than bad air and moral failings. Revolutionary thoughts about washing hands before surgery. The crazy notion that bleeding people might not cure everything. Women wanting to become doctors. Ha! What's next? They'll want to vote?
Gentlemen, I propose we start washing our hands before surgery.
Wash our hands and wash away all our hard-earned medical experience. Next, you'll suggest we should stop giving mercury to children.
So there you have it, your complete guide to being an 18th century doctor. Remember, confidence is key. If you act like you know what you're doing, eventually someone might believe you. And if all your patients die, you can always blame it on their weak constitution or the position of Mars. So just remember, the next time you're tempted to complain about modern medicine, just be thankful your doctor's treatment plan doesn't include tobacco smoke enemas and mercury. Though, admittedly, the fancy cane was pretty cool.